Listen up, guys. I need to tell you something that might sting, but it's the only way you're going to win this game. She says you're special. She calls you babe, sends you those late-night selfies, and tells you that you're the only one who truly gets her. But what if I told you that exact same message she just sent might have been copied and pasted to 3 other men 5 minutes ago? Modern dating is not built on honesty. It's an illusion. It's a game of emotional rotation, and most men are blind to the fact that they are just sharing emotional space with her substitutes. You're not the unique priority you think you are. You're simply the one she talks to when the real interest is busy or hasn't replied yet. This is where you stop being naive. You need to learn how to distinguish between being genuinely wanted and simply being used as an emotional spare tire. The ultimate betrayal isn't infidelity. It's being made to feel like the lead role in a relationship where you're actually just a backup actor. In this deep dive video, we're ripping off the band-aid. We're going to expose the 10 hidden signs that reveal the brutal truth. You're in her rotation. We'll break down the psychological difference between her genuine connection and her strategic convenience. Once you know the code, you'll never be fooled by mixed signals again. You'll stop chasing the illusion and start demanding the clarity you deserve. It's time to see her actions, her calls, and her attention in a completely different light. The battlefield of modern dating is cluttered with mixed signals. Your ability to read her patterns, not her promises, is the only thing that saves you from being emotionally leveraged. These 10 signs are the truth serum, revealing whether you are her priority or just a placeholder in her emotional rotation. 1. The communication test consistency VES. In difference, most men mistakenly believe that a woman who texts often is an interested woman. This is a fragile measure. Some women maintain frequent contact not out of affection, but out of habit or the need for emotional insurance. They keep you on the line because they fear silence, and they need to know your attention is a reliable resource. The true test of her interest is not how often she reaches out, but how she reacts when you stop reaching out. When a woman genuinely values a man, his absence registers immediately. She senses the shift in rhythm. Her internal clock is tuned to your attention. If you suddenly go quiet, she will experience a psychological pull to bridge that distance through curiosity, concern, or increased effort. But if your silence is met with calm indifference, if she takes days to respond or acts as if nothing changed, that is your answer. Her reaction proves that she was never truly afraid to lose you, because she never saw you as a loss to begin with. She saw you as a predictable comfort. A woman who truly prioritizes you will fight your silence. A woman who has replaced you will match it with her own. The decode: don't measure connection by her output. Measure it by her reaction to your withdrawal. Her fear of losing your attention is the surest sign of her investment. Your actions step back strategically. Observe. If your absence creates a vacuum she feels compelled to fill, you have priority. If it creates comfortable silence for her, you are a placeholder. 2. Proximity test connection vs. Convenience. A woman's interest dictates her proximity. When she is truly drawn to you, she will find subtle, natural reasons to appear in your world. She's not explicitly chasing you, but she is orbiting you. She creates moments where she can just pass by, or conveniently attend an event where she knows you'll be. This is the natural gravity of genuine emotional pull. However, the trap lies in confusing this closeness with intention. There are 2 types of proximity: closeness to connect and closeness to control, utilize. The spare tire relationship features proximity that is transactional. She only appears when you serve a specific purpose: to soothe her anxiety, to entertain her when she's bored, or to fill an emotional void she doesn't want to face alone. When you need her, she's busy. When she needs a therapist or a sounding board, she's suddenly available. A woman who values you will carve out space in her life to be near you. You won't have to convince, chase, or schedule yourself into her world. A woman who is using you will only fit you in where it is convenient and where it requires minimal sacrifice from her end. The decode: when she makes time for you, she's interested. When she fits you in, she's managing you. You are her emotional spare tire, only brought out when the primary vehicle, her real interest, has a flat. Your action. Observe the effort of the meeting. Is she rearranging her day to be with you, or are you consistently the last-minute, low-effort plan? Demand clarity by politely declining low-effort, low-value invites. 3. Commitment test promises vis protection. Many men are easily fooled by the illusion of commitment. A woman knows men seek reassurance, so she will paint vivid pictures of a future. The vacations, the hypothetical house, the someday plans. She'll talk about wanting something serious. But here is the strategic truth: talk about commitment is often used as emotional insurance to keep you compliant and hopeful. By keeping you fixated on the possibility of a future, she avoids defining the present. True investment isn't in what she promises, it's in what she protects. Does she guard the bond by setting healthy boundaries? Does she respect your time and emotional energy? Does she nurture the connection, or does she recklessly test it to feel in control? A woman who is genuinely preparing for a future with you behaves like someone preparing for it today. Her actions and her words will align with clarity and consistency. If she speaks loudly of forever, but plays games with the present, she is simply avoiding accountability. She is not planning commitment. She is distracting you from its current absence. The decode: women talk about forever most loudly when they are unsure about today. Look for consistency and clarity in her actions, not depth in her declarations. Your action. Pay attention to contradictions. If she talks about an exclusive future but maintains a vague, undefined present, step back. Do not mistake high-value promises for proof of high-value commitment. 4. Social media test signaling vis. Performance. Her digital stage is a powerful tell. When a woman genuinely likes you, her online behavior subtly shifts into quiet signaling. She may reference shared jokes, post a picture from a date only you recognize, or subtly echo your conversation points. This is her way of building intimacy in plain sight, making you feel special. The danger arises when her social media is a constant performance. A woman who still needs to broadcast her desirability to the world is not emotionally exclusive. Her attention is scattered, her content is curated to be suggestive, and her primary goal is seeking validation from a wide audience. When she's truly focused on one man, her need for external validation narrows. She shares less, but what she does share carries deep, specific meaning. When she's testing options, her digital presence is louder, more about proving she could have anyone. The decode. A woman who is serious about you doesn't post to get attention. She posts to express connection. When she is truly into you, she often hides you from the world. Not because she's secretive, but because she's serious about protecting what she values. Your action. Observe the contrast. Does she post to connect with you, or to entertain an audience? If her stories are designed to provoke curiosity or jealousy, she is intentionally keeping her emotional market open. 5. Availability test connection vs. Placeholder. A woman's availability reveals her interest more honestly than her words. When she's genuinely drawn to you, her actions feel effortless. She finds time, not excuses. You don't have to beg or wait for the perfect moment, she creates it. This is what emotional priority looks like. The trick is the placeholder problem. Some women appear always available, not out of deep affection, but out of habit or low emotional investment. Her time is easy to get because her heart isn't attached to the process. You are the placeholder, the man who is good enough for now, until the next, more intense spark comes along. The real test is not in how quickly she says yes, but in how deeply she shows up. Is she mentally present, or does she drift into her phone? Does she ask genuine questions about your life, or just fill the silence with comfort noise? The decode. Her availability should feel like connection, not convenience. If you step back and your absence is met with more silence, your lack of presence does not bother her. Interest naturally looks for connection, it doesn't beg for it. Your action focus on the quality of the interaction. If you feel like you're competing with her phone or her scattered thoughts, do not invest more. A woman who truly values you makes effort, not just time. 6. Performance test. Affection vs. control. Attraction naturally involves some level of performance. She dresses up, her tone softens, Her laughter is spontaneous. That is the natural human signal of affection. The spare tire performs differently. Some women perform not to connect but to compete. They want to prove they can win your attention. When her charm feels rehearsed rather than organic, when her energy is more about validation than vulnerability, you are dealing with control. The woman who seeks control will constantly adjust her behavior, her tone, and even her opinions to hold your focus. She's not trying to bond. She's trying to dominate the emotional frame. The decode. The woman who wants you will impress you once, then she'll relax into your presence. The woman who wants power will never stop performing, because the applause is what sustains her ego. You must distinguish between being entertained and being loved, your action. Pay attention to her authenticity. If she can't relax and simply be herself around you without performing, she is trying to manage the dynamic. Stop giving applause to a performance that lacks vulnerability. 7. Vulnerability test. Trustviz leverage. Emotional openness feels like the deepest form of intimacy. But it's also the easiest place for men to be deceived. Vulnerability has two faces, real and rehearsed. Real openness is a little messy, a little raw. She shares pieces of her inner world not to gain something, but to let you in. It creates peace and a sense that you can finally meet her where she is. Rehearsed openness is used as leverage. She reveals pain or past trauma, not as connection, but as a strategy. She tells you just enough to make you feel protective and needed. Once she senses your empathy, she uses it to anchor you emotionally. You start caring more, investing more, and she gives just enough emotional feedback to keep you from walking away. The decode. Performative openness creates tension. You feel responsible for her emotions, as if her happiness depends on you. That is not love, that is emotional control wrapped in sincerity. She opens up to you when she trusts you. She vents to you when she needs a listener, not a partner. Your action. Observe what happens after the sharing. Does her honesty bring you closer, mutual connection? Or does it make you smaller, taking on her emotional burden? Do not allow empathy to become emotional servitude. 8. Jealousy test. Concern viz punishment. Nothing reveals her true level of attachment more clearly than how she handles jealousy. Every woman feels it, but how she acts defines her priority level. When she truly cares, jealousy surfaces as curiosity and a desire for reassurance. She asks questions and seeks to close the emotional distance. Her reaction is rooted in connection. The other kind of jealousy is born from ego. When she lashes out, accuses, or withdraws in silence, it's not because she's afraid to lose you. It's because she's afraid to lose power over you. She uses jealousy to measure her influence. The decode. The woman who loves you reacts with concern and communication. The woman who wants control reacts with punishment and drama. The most telling sign is silence after jealousy. That is the sound of detachment, the moment she is already half gone. Your action never intentionally test her, but when it happens naturally, observe her maturity. Does she communicate it, or does she weaponize it? A woman who is emotionally stable may feel the sting, but she won't dramatize it. 9. Introduction test. Pride vs. Pretense. Who she lets you meet tells you exactly where you stand. When she is genuinely proud to have you, she integrates you naturally. You meet her friends and maybe family, not as an accessory, but as someone who belongs in her life. This is emotional acknowledgement. The pretense test is the selective introduction. Some women bring men into their social circle for reasons that have nothing to do with depth. To make another man jealous, to project stability, or to look desirable. If she introduces you but her friends seem unsure of your role, you're not being presented, you're being positioned for her social image. The decode. Look at the consistency of the integration. Is it natural moments, pride, or only selective, staged spaces, pretense? A woman who's proud of you will make you feel grounded in her presence. A woman who's performing you will make you feel like a prop. Your action. Look for clarity. If she keeps her world vague, she's protecting herself, not you. Demand to be introduced clearly and naturally. 10. Focus test. Intentional vs. Tolerated. The final and most telling sign is her attention. When a woman is truly interested, her attention becomes intentional, it's focused, consuming, and she remembers the small details. In a world of endless distractions, choosing to give her full, undivided attention to you is the purest form of interest. When her focus drifts, when her eyes constantly fall back to her phone, or her energy feels absent while she is physically present, she has already disconnected. You can't compete with that kind of emotional distance. The decode attention reveals everything. It's how women show value. Real attention calms you, fake attention confuses you. If you always feel like you're fighting for space in her mind, you're not the man she's prioritizing. You're the one she's tolerating. Your action recognize the noise. If her presence brings you confusion or anxiety, step back. Her actions must align with your desired emotional peace. If the noise is louder than the clarity, the connection is fractured. You now possess the roadmap. You have the psychological framework to see through the illusion of the emotional rotation. You know that her sweet words, her sporadic attention, and her vague promises are often just tools to keep you comfortably positioned as the spare tire. The painful truth is this: love doesn't hide in mystery. It reveals itself in consistency. You do not need to decode every single text, second-guess every reaction, or negotiate your worth with her silence. When a woman truly values you, you will know it. Her energy will speak before her mouth does, and her actions will align without you having to ask. The biggest mistake you can make now is to ignore the patterns and cling to the promises. Hope is not a strategy. You must be brave enough to look at the indifference, the inconsistency, and the lack of intentional focus, even when it hurts. Because ignoring reality doesn't protect your heart, it only delays the pain. Your power is not found in forcing her to choose you. Your power lies in your self-sovereignty. It's time to stop chasing the noise of confusion and start demanding the peace of clarity. Step back and watch what remains. If she lets you go quietly, you were never her priority. If she makes the effort to meet your energy, you have a foundation for real connection. From this moment on, your every move in dating must be intentional. Stop confusing attention with interest. Stop confusing consistency with commitment. When you stand firm in your worth, you cease being an applicant for love and start commanding the respect that makes you irreplaceable.